Hello YouTube. Today we're gonna be trying 4 different Korean instant noodle recipes. They're all gonna involve this Shin Ramen. If you don't know, Shin Ramen is a very popular Korean instant noodle. It's spicy and yummy, probably one of my favorite instant noodles ever. Not sponsored, unfortunately. And maybe what I like most about it is that you can customize it in so many different ways and it'll taste great. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. All right, so first up we have KUJIRAI style. All you need for this is 2 eggs, some yellow cheese, and green onions. So to make this, you need a medium-sized pan like so, and then into that pan pour 300 milliliters of water. Turn the heat to medium-high and wait for it to come to a boil. Once it begins to boil, put in your noodles, the little vegetable packet, and half of the seasoning packet. We're not using the full amount because there's less water in this one and it would just be too much salt. Also, you can stir around the noodles to help them cook. And once the noodles begin to separate, you can lower the heat, make 2 little divots in the noodle, and then just add your eggs. Try not to break the yolks because we want them runny. And then we cover it up and wait for the eggs to cook. It should only take around 2 minutes. All right, now that these eggs are done cooking, we can go ahead and add our cheese. And you can just cover that again to help it melt. Then finally add some scallions. I did mine in the shape of a smiley face, and as you can see, it is quite funny. And then you're done. Now, my favorite thing about KUJIRAI style is that you can eat it straight out of the pan, and I guess technically you could do that with just about everything, but with this, it's more socially acceptable for whatever reason. And to eat this, just bust open the yolk over the noodles so they're nice and creamy, and then enjoy. The cheese and the egg work so well in this pan-fried setting without any soup, and it really is just so good. So I'm gonna give this KUJIRAI style instant ramen hack an 8 out of 10. All right, so next up is MAYO ramen. For this, you need an egg, a little bit of minced garlic, some scallions, and Kewpie mayo. This is a Japanese mayo, and even if you don't like mayo in general, I would still recommend you try it. It's a bit sweet and doesn't have that weird mayo flavor. It's really good. In a bowl, you crack 1 egg, add in about a teaspoon of minced garlic, then squirt in some Kewpie mayo, and then from your instant ramen pack, add the vegetables and the seasoning packet. Oh, and I almost forgot, make sure to mix these all together. Now set that aside and boil 500 milliliters of water. Just cook the noodles like normal, and when they're done, we're gonna pour the boiling water into the mixture. Mix that all together so the egg in there can cook, and then finally add your noodles. Top with some green onions, and you're done. Let's give it a taste. Oh, I love how creamy the broth gets when you add the egg and the mayo. And though this does taste great, it is a bit too heavy for my liking, so I'm gonna have to give the mayo hack a 6 out of 10. All right, so next up is a cold ramen hack. It's like normal Shin Ramen, but cold. And to make it, you're gonna need green onions, sesame oil, some red chili peppers, and soy sauce. So in a small bowl, add some sesame oil, and then around a tablespoon of soy sauce, half a packet of the Shin Ramen powder, and then 50 milliliters of water. Mix that up and then set it to the side. And next, we cook the noodles in 400 milliliters of boiling water with the little packet of dried vegetables, and then cook them to however you like your noodles. I like mine nice and chewy, aka undercooked. Now that the noodles are done cooking, we're gonna take them and strain them. And after straining them, you're gonna run the cold water right over the noodles so they can cool down. And obviously make sure your hands are clean or else that would be gross. All right, so into your bowl, we're gonna add the noodles and then the sauce mixture that we made earlier. Go ahead and stir that all around. And then finally, we're gonna add plenty of green onions and then our chili peppers for some spice. And finally, this is optional, but into the center you can add a raw egg yolk. This will get the noodles all nice and creamy and actually adds a lot to the dish. But obviously, if you're afraid of raw eggs, don't do it. So then we're gonna mix that around and give it a taste. Wow, this is a lot better than I expected. I kind of made up the recipe as I went, but it turned out to be all right. Though when I'm comparing it to normal Shin Ramen, which is like the very best, I gotta admit that this really doesn't come close. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10. All right, so last but not least, and probably the weirdest, we have the peanut butter ramen hack. And for this, all you're gonna need is peanut butter and milk. What? Milk? Is what you might be asking yourself, and to that my answer is yes, milk. So to start this, we're just gonna cook our noodles normally in some boiling water, and then drain them in the sink. Go ahead and set the noodles aside so we can start heating up our milk. So into this pot, let's heat up 2 cups of milk, and while that is getting nice and warm, let's prepare our soup base. So into a bowl, add 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, our seasoning packet, dried vegetables, and just a little bit of warm milk to help mix that around. I believe that in ramen terms, this is called a tare. You should get a nice and somewhat thick soup base like this, and it actually smells really good right now. So into that, let's go ahead and add our 2 cups of hot milk. Make sure to stir it all together so it mixes. And finally, into there, we just go ahead and add our noodles. Yes, I am using my hands. Sue me. And there we have it. Last but not least, our peanut butter ramen. Right now, I gotta say, it smells pretty great. Nice and sweet and savory and nutty. I'm pretty excited. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Wow, not bad at all. It's nutty and creamy, but still is a bit spicy. I'll have to give it a solid 6 out of 10. Actually, let's give it a 5 out of 10. It's starting to lose me. So there we have it. All the recipes will be in the description below. Please make sure to like and subscribe. But until next time, ciao.